Hey, Sonny here. Today I want to show you how to play Coast to Coast by Scorpions. So first thing we'll cover is the main riff or the intro. That's basically the backbone of the song. It goes like this. Okay, so the main thing is that this part was really work your little pinky. It's a simple riff. It sounds great, but it really is a really good exercise to strengthen your pinky. It mainly evolves around the E minor power chord, or just E chord. The E power chord basically is an open E string, 7th fret of A, and 9th fret of D and G. Sometimes you just play 2 strings. No, sometimes you play all 4, all 3 string. It doesn't matter. That's really not exact way to do it. Sometimes when you watch them live, they play differently. Sometimes they held back, they just play 2 string. And one thing gets louder, they play all 4 string. So anyway, that's the E minor chord. So the whole song is basically in the key of E minor, and E minor is natural minor of G major, because if you count E minor, the E note 3 frets up is G, 1, 2, 3, G, 10th fret of A is G, so that's a G major. So basically the whole song is around G major scale. E minor is the exact same thing as G major scale, but it starts from the E note instead of G. All right, so and once we play that chord, what you do, you play the E chord first, and then you play twice on the 7th fret on the A. You play the E chord again. You play 3 more times on the 7th fret of A, and then you play this part here. So I'm using my pinky, move up and play the 10th fret of A, along with my ring finger on the 9th fret on the D string. So I'm playing those 2 notes. So I play those 2 notes, and then I play the 7th, lift my pinky and play 7th fret on, and the 9th fret on the D string. So that's the E power chord. So it goes, and while you're doing this, you keep the chord ring out, and then you move your pinky, kind of move upward, half step down to 9th fret. And you basically play 9th fret of A and D together. Lift up the pinky and play the E chord. And do the A10 and D9 again. So the whole thing goes like this. So basically it pivots back to the E power chord. And by the way, when you play the A10 and D9, that's basically a D major. That's a D major chord interval. It's a D major chord. And if you when you play the pinky on the 9th fret of A along with the 9th fret of D, that's a B major chord. That's a perfect 4th. Because you have the root note on the 9th fret on the D, and 9th fret on the A string. It's basically an octave down of perfect 5th of F sharp. So after you play that, you play 1 time on the 7th fret on again, and you play the E chord again. So far we have this. And then you do twice on the and you repeat again. So you do twice on the 7th fret on A and play the E chord, and 3 times on the 7th fret of A, You repeat the whole motif again. So that's the main riff. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to the verse of Coast to Coast. You're basically playing the main riff. While you're doing that, the second guitar will come in and play this. So what I'm playing is I'll play always play on 2-string, the G and the B string, and the first 2 notes is the G9 and B8. So that's basically that's part of the E minor bar chord. We're just playing the 2 notes right here, and you play 7th fret of G and B after that, and that's part of the D major power chord. We're just playing the 2 notes on top. So, and you play twice again on the G7, B7, and then play the 5th fret of G and B one time. And that's basically a C power chord, because you take a look at the C power chord, you're playing the bottom 2 notes right here of the 5th fret. So, you repeat it again. Now the second time you play this, instead of playing 5th fret of G and B, you play 11th fret of G and 10th fret of B. So that's basically F sharp minor bar chord, but just playing those 2 notes at the bottom. Alright, so, and you repeat the whole thing again. So repeat that whole thing one time. And it changes. It plays something it's similar to what we just did, but it's a little different. It goes like this. So let's stop right there for now. So basically I played the G9, B8 4 times, and you play 5th fret of G and B 4 times, but you gotta pause on the 3rd time first. So do the same thing again on 7th fret G and B 3 times. Do it 4 times. And then G9, 8, B8 again. You do it 3 times, pause for a second, and play it again. Okay? So the whole thing so far with this. Next part is F sharp minor, G11 and B10 4 times. And back to the C, which is G5, B5. So you play 3 times, pause, and you play it again. And then you go, the next part goes like this. So I'm playing the G9, G8 3 times, and 7th fret of GB, and then G9, B8 again 1 time, and 7th fret of GB again 1 time, and G11, B10 1 time, and G9 and B8 1 time. So that part right there goes like that. Alright, so the whole thing put together, the second part goes like this. So I call that verse. That's the verse riff. Okay, now we'll move on to our, basically I call this a chorus riff because, it's the way the coast to coast is structured. It's almost like a song. You have your intro, verse, chorus, but without singing, you play it with your guitar. Actually, a lot of instrumentals are like that. You gotta have some kind of structure, so you can repeat your melodies, the theme of the music over and over as part of the song. Anyway, so let's talk about the chords behind the chorus riff. It goes like this. Let me see. Okay, so the chords it's all power chord. 2 strings, E power chord, the 7th position. That's E, and then G power chord at the 10th position. So that's A10 and G12. A10 and D12, and then C power chord twice. E power chord at the 7th position, and then again E, G, and then D twice, E, and you repeat again. He goes E, G, twice on the C, D, on E, and he goes. So you do that 2 measure. And play 8 times per measure, so 8th note. So you play 16 times basically. You do 2 measure. It's on the 7th fret. So how we play this, we play the 5th fret on the D string, and the slide to 9th fret. So, and then 9 and 10 on the D string. And you do real quick, you play the 9th fret on the D, hammer on pull off on the 10th fret, and slide down the 7th fret. So it goes like. And use your pinky and play the 10th fret on the A string. So far with this. And you play the 7th fret again on the D string. Quickly move down and play the 5th fret again with your index finger. Hammer on pull off on 7th fret and slide down the 4th fret. And play the 5th fret on the A string. And then you slide up to the 7th fret with the ring finger. So far we have this. I'll show you. And sometimes sometimes play the 9 and 10 again. Sometimes just play the 10th fret. So slowly again. So that's again instead of going, it goes 10th fret. Next part, do the same thing again, 5 to 9, slide up. You play the 9th fret again, and you slide up on 12th fret. Use your pinky. 10th fret on the D, and then 9 and 7 on the D, and back to 9 again on the D, and then 10th fret on the D, 7th fret on the D, and 9th fret on the D. So all on the D string. So the second part goes like this again. And give it vibrato. Slow down again. We'll repeat the whole thing again. So second time it ends on the 7th fret on the D string. That's when the background chorus goes like this. And that's what also the fast run comes in. The fast run goes like this. Okay, so the fast run goes like this. Once you play the 7th fret on the first guitar play, Matthias will play this thing. Alright, so what I'm doing is I play the 12 and 10 and 12 on the E string, and 9, 10, 12 on the A, 9 on the D string, hammer on and pull off on the 10th fret, and then 12 on the A, 9, 10 on the D, and then 12 on the D, and then 9, 11, 12 on the G, slide up to 14th fret, pull off on 12 and 11, slide back down to 9. So far with this. And then you hammer on the 11 and 12 after that on the G, and then 10 and 12 on the B string, and after that you'll play 9 on the G string, hammer on to 11 and 12 on the G and pull off, hammer back on, and do the same thing on 10, 12 and 13 on the B string, and slide up to 15th fret, and then 12, 14 on the E, pause for a second, and then 15th fret on the E string, quickly pull off on 12. Slowly, the whole thing slowly. Basically you got to group three notes together, so it goes. So the first part is 3. You got a group of 3 notes. You can hear it, just like that. So the whole leg slowly goes like this. Again, one more time. Slower. Start over again. Okay, after the fast run, on the studio version, nothing happens. But on Worldwide Live version, he plays this right here. So basically, he plays 2nd fret of G string 3 times, and then in the natural position, and 2nd fret of D. So this is an E note again. So give it a pinch harmonic. E chord. You play the 3rd fret on the E string, pull down, open E string, open E chord, and then Matthias will also play this part here. Oh yeah, so you play the harmonic on the 7th fret of A string, between 7 and 8th fret, and then between 5 and 6 on the A string, 5 and 6 on the D, back to between 7 and 8 on the A string, and then between 7 and 8th fret, 5 and 6, 5th and 6th fret on the D string, and then 5th and 6th fret on the G string. You basically barely put your index finger over or the middle ring finger between the frets and barely touching the string. You pick it, you lift your hands up, you get the harmonic. So you can do a random bar if you want. I just, kind of you do that thing. On the studio version, you hear chords like this. He does it 3 times. So basically, you play the 9th fret of D and G, and you lift up your pinky. You play D9 and G7. Basically, it's E minor 3rd inversion, and back to the 9th fret of D and G together. Alright, so that's the studio version. It's just doing that 3 times while the bass player goes. So that's what's happening. And then on the worldwide live version, at the very end, that bass, the bass line, it plays like this. That's all he does is 9th fret on the G string, hammer on pull off on 12th fret. And he uses his finger, he kind of moves the string down. It picks slide, and they go, and he bend up full step on the 12th fret on the G string several times, and then Rudolph Schenker starts his solo. Okay, so. So that's the first lick of the Rudolph Schenker solo.